vacation that picks me up and takes me to exciting new worlds.
Welcome to SippyCupAdventures of Northern California. I'm Darren.
I'm Patty, and we're a travel channel mostly exclusive to travel in Northern California.
She didn't say exclusive because this video we're actually traveling out of California. We're doing a 13-day
road trip
to Oregon, Washington, and Idaho, centered around this
and Nevada.
The ABGT Above and Beyond Group Therapy Weekender at the Gorge Amphitheater in Eastern Washington, a 3-day music, trance, EDM, progressive house fest that you see here in the video that we did in 2019. We left on Wednesday in the late afternoon after work and headed 4.5 hours north to Ashland, Oregon. The drive takes us north on I-5 and is pretty pedestrian from Williams to Red Bluff in Northern California. As you approach Redding, the drive starts transitioning from California's Central Valley up to the Shasta Trinity National Forest. As you start the ascent, you pass over beautiful Lake Shasta as the I-5 bridge takes you over the lake. The side note here, you see that marina in the bottom right hand corner. That's where we uploaded our very first YouTube video about Bridge Bay Resort and Marina. If you're feeling brave, take a look back at our very first YouTube video seen here on SippyCupAdventures, and I'd like to say we have improved our videos.
Our first night's stay is at Callahan's Lodge just south of the town of Ashland. As we arrived, we first learned that Callahan's is a supply stop for those hiking the PCT. You can tent camp for the night, do laundry and shower, and send resupply packages to yourself. We saw a young lady in the office getting a package of new hiking shoes that were delivered. It was a nice day with jetted tub in the room, a bit of scenery on the shared deck, and we definitely need to return and explore the city of Ashland as it looks really nice. For this trip, we just gassed up in Ashland after our night stay.
The next day we started our trek to Hood River, Oregon. You drive the entirety of the state of Oregon from just beyond the California border to the Oregon-Washington border. A drive of a little over 6 hours. On our way to Hood River, day 2. We're somewhere north of Eugene, about 80 miles away from Portland. And when you're kind of in a hurry, you don't stop for lunch, you stop for road trip snacks. Fritos.
Pringles. Nutter butter. Already eaten Slim Jim. Guilty pleasure, yes, I know. Some caffeine.
I'ma keep on eating, yeah. Do this in my sleep, yeah. Tell me why they fiending. Gotta face your demons.
And joining me tonight is the man of the moment, Grum. His new album, Unreality, is out today, and he'll be joining us later for a guest mix. Before that, new music and mixes from Cosmic Gate, Joda, Rog, Ben Boma, and more. Next up, something fresh from the Phaeton Boys. Featuring Mars Atlas, this is Angel's Cry. This is group therapy.
Once you're past Portland, the drive takes you along the majestic Columbia River, a river that would be in our eyesight for the next 5 days.
River. There's the Columbia River. That's Washington. We're still in Oregon. Our room is up
there.
Up there.
Corner room.
The trials and tribulations of bringing a lint liquor. Got a lint liquor with a bra cup or something stuck to it. There you go. Wow.
We made this same trip back in 2019, and in 2019 we stayed at the Westcliff Lodge and thought for simplicity's sakes, and it was a wonderful stay, we just stay here again. The lodge doesn't look like much from the street, but at the back end of the property, that's where our room was.
We headed downtown to Solstice Wood Fire Pizza, Cafe, and Bar.
What plant?
There's a plant over there that I know is not poison oak because it's not leaves of green, but it's bright red.
You think everything is poison oak?
Anything usually in nature that's bright red is usually poisonous.
Like your hair?
That's purple.
Waterfront Park is a beautiful area, and Hood River is best known for being labeled as the windsurfing capital of the world, so something to check out while visiting.
Okay, so...
Don't explain.
I'm not going to do it all over again. You can see that I'm wet. So, can you guess which one of the nozzles I hit?
There's 3 nozzles. 1,
Or which one of the buttons?
2, 3. So if she just wants to get her feet done, she has to hit the bottom one. But no, she hit that one.
But wouldn't you expect this one to, at the maximum, to turn that one on? You might want to back up for this one, folks. No. Which one does it do? The top.
Oh, the middle one did the top?
Yes. Thank you very much. So yeah. Oh, wait. Seriously? That's what I'm going to rinse my feet off with? Alright.
Eagle. It's balding. It's got the white head.
It's time to head to the music venue, the Gorge Amphitheater, but before we head there, we drop down into Ellensburg to pick up a friend.
All right, we picked up Diane. Say hello, Diane. And we are packed to the gills, so see you soon.
We picked up a newbie in Ellensburg. Diane, who I consider my YouTube mentor, lives in the Tahoe area, and she was up on a solo car camping trip in Oregon and Washington and visiting her daughter. She mentioned months prior that she and her husband enjoy trance, and that's all it took. A lot of my footage here has been provided by Diane, and here is her channel, Diane Schmayan, if you're into solo car camping. The trip takes us over the Columbia River by way of the Vantage Bridge. What we are about to partake in is a weekend music festival at possibly the most gorgeous venue in the United States, if not the world, the Gorge Amphitheater located in eastern Washington. Technically, the amphitheater is located in George, Washington. Yes, George. The closest town with services would be Quincy.
The event is the Above and Beyond Group Therapy Weekender, a 3-day music festival under the umbrella of EDM with music genres such as trance, progressive house, melodic house, and a touch of techno. Above and Beyond is the name of the main group or headliner in which this whole event is centered around.
There are hotel packages with a few hotels in the area, but the majority of us camp. And if you know us, we don't camp, except for this event. Most fans just bring tents and camping gear, whether it's their own gear or they rent the gear. Some bring RVs, or like us, we rented an RV and had it dropped at the event by the owner who lives close by.
This is the best part, this is the best part, this is the best part, this is the best part.
This man, where you been all my life? Here?
Ambulance is now ready for your emergency needs.
Premier?
Everybody got their Premier bands? Perfect. You got your rollers down on my flyer down there, kind of on the left-hand side. He'll direct you to my partners, okay?
We have an RV drop, so.
All right.
By the trees.
Your voice chasing me down the hall. And you call out my name like it's a piece of pie.
Hold the flag.
Most music festivals are multiple days with multiple stages and multiple genres of music. But the ABGT Group Therapy Weekender is different. Yes, it's multiple days, but there's one stage and all of the artists are on the same label, Anjuna Deep or Anjuna Beats, spearheaded by Above and Beyond. Hence the name Anjuna Family, given to all of us who follow these artists. It really is a family feel, and the term plur is followed amongst the family: peace, love, unity, and respect.
Family is often used to describe any group or club that someone partakes in. It could be a group of car enthusiasts, a professional sports team, a hiking group, for instance. For Patty and I, it's Anjuna Family. We have made so many great friends, and the music makes us feel young again. There is no judgment. People come from all backgrounds, politically, race, religion, and gender, and the feeling of solidarity comes to fruition.
The Weekender is over, and up next we travel a quarter of a mile next door to the wonderful Sagecliffe Hotel Resort and Spa for some peace and relaxation, or so we thought. We stayed here back in 2019, and it was probably the smartest thing we did. We were able to take a real shower and have a real meal. In 2019, the majority of the Anjuna fam headed back home. It was quiet, but this year, the word got out about coming to Sagecliffe. When check-in time came, our room wasn't ready. So while we waited for our room to be ready, we headed to the pool. We were surprised to see how many Anjuna fam were there. Other fam had the same idea as us. Clearly, the word got out about this place and they also chose to stay, like us, and unwind. There was even Anjuna music being played over the speakers, so kudos to the staff for having the insight on their clientele.
We stayed in this unit here called the Cliff House. As I mentioned previously, we sought peace and relaxation, but the evening provided just an extension of the weekend's party, as we did not really get the solitude and privacy that we longed for. But nonetheless, it was a beautiful stay.
So let's check out the Cliff House.
On our trip in 2019, after the Weekender, we chose to go to the Puget Sound area for a few days and had a wonderful stay in Gig Harbor as we did the coast route. We toured a little bit with some family doing the Seattle thing. For 2022, I convinced Patty that we should head east to Idaho, as we had never been, and it's close, and it's summertime, so let's go jump in some lakes.
Next up on the trip, we head to Sandpoint, Idaho, but we stopped briefly in Coeur d'Alene.
Well, we made it to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. On our way to Sandpoint, we're just gonna do a little tour. Our friend Matt Murphy and Junifam works right there.
We met up with our good friend Matt, who we met back in 2019 at the Weekender. We camped with him and his crew this past year, and he lives in Coeur d'Alene.
Who lives that?
And the cruise is leaving.
Yeah, where we're staying at Airbnb, Sandpoint's up north about an hour and 20 minutes. But we have to visit Coeur d'Alene, the most touristy area. You see all the people. It's not our scene. But anyways, beautiful area. SippyCupAdventures. Cheers. Oh, they're playing in June deep. It's crazy.
It's awesome. So we were just walking around and we hear some Anjuna music overhead. We met Peter, who runs this little cocktail shack, and we talked about the Weekender. This was really random, and it's very rare to run into fans outside of events.
On to Sandpoint. Now, I did a lot of research on where to go in Idaho, something not too touristy, and Sandpoint came up as this beautiful, more remote area. Here is our Airbnb, a room above the garage next to the homeowner's house.
Okay, so we're here at our Airbnb in Sandpoint. And this dock belongs to the homeowner. So does the boat. Apparently they haven't offered to take us out on it yet. But those 2 red chairs we were gonna sit in with our cups. But there are black widows on them.
Which, we're out in the middle of, you know, the woods. There's gonna be bugs, but I don't mess with spiders.
We assume that they're black widows. They look like it. I didn't get too close.
We found out from the homeowner that they have wolf spiders, which are not as dangerous as black widows, but they are a nuisance and he sweeps them away daily off of everything. Hence the broom on the dock. So when in Idaho and you see a large brown spider, it is likely to be a wolf spider.
And then that little dinghy boat with the outboard trolling motor, there are spiders all over that. So that apparently hasn't used, or these spiders just come back daily. So, oh, and there's the plane.
What?
Here we are getting our lake stuff. Ready to get in Lake Ponderoy. Ponderay. And the difficulty when you're not at home and you don't know much about the lake is what to bring. I'm doing some floaties, some donuts. And we're gonna swim out to some islands out there. But it takes some planning. When we're at home in Northern California, when we go to the lake, we know, okay, we gotta bring this, this, and this. This is a little bit of a challenge because once you get out there, I'm not coming back. Out here at Lake Ponderay, and I think we're in Sunnyside, Idaho. Our trips have taken us to Sandpoint, but we got an Airbnb in Sunnyside, and we got our SippyCupAdventures flotilla going on. The GoPro crapped out. Don't know what the hell happened to that. We'll figure that out. It's still, we can't turn it off. I can't film. So it was the whole GoPro in the water and all that kind of stuff. Didn't work out. But part of our 13-day vacation, and this Lake Ponderay. Anyways, I was hoping to get a bunch of footage with the GoPro, but can't do that. But anyways, enjoy the footage. Cheers.
It was time to explore downtown Sandpoint. It was, okay and unfairly probably, but I kept comparing to Lake Tahoe. And Sandpoint, although beautiful, is not Lake Tahoe. Christmas shop. It's the end of July. It's 95 degrees outside. Patty's going into a Christmas shop. That's what she does. Once we got checked into our Airbnb, we did some research on places to eat. So we took a drive, and one place was closed. The other place looked like the service was going to take forever. So we found this place called the Farmhouse Barbecue Joint. It wasn't in downtown. It was off the beaten path, but man, it was good. I mean, we just drove and just happened to find it. It was tremendous.
My Atlanta.
Grab my knife there.
All right, we are on Lake Ponderay doing the touristy stuff. We are on the Shawnadis doing a lake tour, a lake history tour.
There we go.
Do see them sitting around. Their home range is considered about a mile around the around their nest. So keep your eyes peeled, especially as we come around the point here. We frequently do around their nest. So keep your eyes peeled, especially as
I'm a chicken hawk. I catch chickens and eat them.
I thought this was pretty cool. Being somewhat of a geography buff that I am, at this point in the lake, we are pretty much in the middle of the panhandle of Idaho, where it is equal distance to bordering Washington, Canada, and Montana. Our next adventure is to head south 6 hours to our next stay in the little town of Donnelly, Idaho. Very hard to film and walk on these steps at the same time. Bunk beds, queen bed. Yeah, I think we'll be using the room downstairs. This is nice though.
And it's cool up here too.
Yeah.
Like weather, temperature-wise.
Our stay was in an HOA, and we had the use of Lake Cascade, seen here. We had to drive there as the walk was a bit far, for being that we had to bring our lake gear and our cocktails. I had this funny feeling that a local may see our license plates being from California and would think trespassers. Then we'd have to explain, no, we're staying at a home through Airbnb. But that didn't happen. It was actually really quiet with very little activity. Just how we had hoped.
Next was a stay in Boise. What was supposed to be a 2-hour drive ended up taking us 3 hours, as it was a Sunday and folks were winding up their weekend. They were likely heading back to the Boise area. We stayed at the Grove Hotel in downtown Boise.
Okay, so we made it to Boise. Well, it was supposed to be a 2-hour drive from Donnelly to Boise, ended up being nearly 3 hours.
on a Sunday afternoon, traffic, summer, people coming home. Staying at the Grove Hotel that you're seeing here in downtown Boise. Really a nice place.
Yep. Well,
we had no idea we were getting it's like 2 rooms. The Grove. But when we checked in, they let the food.
Yeah, the restaurant and bar were unexpectedly closed, so we had to go walking to find something to eat and some cocktails.
It's okay, you know, you kind of pay for these amenities. Maybe it's COVID, maybe they're just short-staffed. But nonetheless, we had to get out and explore a little bit. So yeah, we got into Boise and, you know, kind of want to explore a little bit. You know, you're only going to have the evening and then you got to take off the next day. So we did get out to eat for lunch and dinner, but you know, it was the hottest day of the year in Boise. The one day we're here, 106. So getting out and walking and shopping and seeing some of the sights we didn't do. When you pay decent money for a hotel like this, you're kind of stuck between, should we go out and explore or should we really enjoy the hotel room, you know? And in this case, the weather dictated that we stayed mostly in the hotel room because it's nice and it was hotter than you know what outside. So I don't know if we're coming back to Boise again, but this little promenade area and the dining was spectacular. Patty just did her hair, so she can't sit outside with the misters. Well, we made it to Reno, 6.5 hours later.
Genuine ostrich. 3 payments. Oh! Wait, what? I'm just goofing. New boot goofing. Oh!
And most of you have probably stayed in casinos, whether it's Vegas or even here in Reno. We don't do this. So this is kind of special, you know. Me showing this room. Oh yeah, I've been there, done that. But for us, it's kind of cool. So I think we hear the hot tub above us. Oh, by the way, our daughter has joined us. Say hi to you too. No, I'm not live.
Oh, Nita Bonita.
Goodness sake.
Oh,
and
goodness.
our grandpup.
Oh my god. Oh, Nita Bonita. Let me sit down.
Do they not work?
Hi, Nita. That's our grandpup. That's all we got.
I'm just on vacation.
That's all we got.
The only child you're ever going to get from me.
That's okay. She's a beautiful girl.
Hi, Nita.
So it's hot August nights here in Reno. They got all these hot rods. My daughter wanted to see it. I'm like not interested. Old cars don't do anything for me, and I'm from Modesto. Yeah, I grew up in Modesto, California, the cruising capital of the world, where the movie American Graffiti got its inspiration as George Lucas grew up in Modesto. Although the movie wasn't filmed there, but instead in Fresno and Petaluma. Cruising is how Patty and I met. Well, my buddy and I were not cruising this time, but Patty and her friend were, and that story is for another time. So yeah, exploring downtown Reno and the Riverwalk. It's funny, we only live 2 hours away from Reno, but we've never been here, other than just driving through, which is few and far between. So yeah, the Riverwalk's, it's really nice.
Lots of restaurants and bars.
Yeah, we're gonna find some place to have lunch.
Maybe shop.
And maybe shop. We got a bunch of hot rods going around. It's hot August nights. So Virginia Street, the main street's closed down as they gonna do a parade, I guess, tonight, every night for the week. Yeah, it's kind of eerie. It's a Tuesday afternoon. There's not a lot of people out. Most of the people out are homeless, so something we're used to live in Sacramento. Doesn't bother us, but if you come to the river walk here in Reno, be prepared for that. Not that they're gonna do anything to you, but for hot August nights, it's just really quiet. Maybe it all starts in the evening. What?
That's why it's called Hot August Nights.
Ah.
Evening.
Nights. We found a place to eat and play a little bocce ball at the same time. The Eddy on South Sierra Street in Reno has a number of games and I believe food trucks with some beer. It was so damn hot though, we just didn't spend a whole lot of time here. But clearly, you can see that Patty wasn't thrilled with the scoring.
Local or tourists?
No, we're from Montana.
Oh,
How about
okay.
you?
We're from California.
Okay, good. Just on a road trip, or did you come here specifically?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
We're on a 13-day road trip. We live in the Sacramento area.
So if you made it all the way to the end of the video, we appreciate your support. Thank you for following our 13-day road trip this summer of 2022. Much appreciated. Thanks again, guys.